The ridiculously random nature of the gorilla by Casual Geographic. I think we've reacted to Casual Geographic before. By the way, there are people, men, that think they can take a gorilla. No joke. They think they can take a gorilla.
Oh my god.
The greatest trick.
Go back.
Oh my god.
Look at those cheeks. He is caked. That monkey is caked up. By the way, there's a story out there of a woman falling in love with a gorilla. And she was, you know, her behavior threatened the gorilla. So the gorilla once in a while, you know, then once just jumped out of the enclosure and just beat the shit out of that woman. She's still in love with him.
The greatest trick Hollywood ever pulled was convincing the world that gorillas were something to be scared of. Whole time it's an ADHD Uber ape built like a practical joke. The gorillini is the opposite of a sleeper build. They look like a flash pass to being full-time horizontal, when really gorillas are unintentionally the most unserious animals on the planet. Almost every character trait that made them feared back in the day actually makes them adorably ridiculous when you have context. Like you've seen this picture, a gorilla beating its chest and maybe you next has to be one of the most intimidating sights in nature. The sound, though.
What? What? That sounds so stupid. Go back.
Maybe you next has to be one of the most intimidating sights in nature. The sound, though. That was not edited.
It sounds like some bubbles popping. It's some video game. I guess they now know where they saw that sound, I guess. That is crazy.
Whole time this display sounds like an assault on bubble wrap. King Kong had you misunderstood. Only in a movie would you see this and hear the God of Thunder. It's more like someone weaponizing bubble tea in a straw. Put on a blindfold and it's not threatening anybody but Bubble Buddy, because it sounds like his family flatlined by firing squad. It's fitting. It was widely believed that the peg pounding was considered an act of war, but newer research says that it might help gorillas avoid conflict.
What does bro look like? Why do I feel like bro's already has like this smile on his face? Like, I'm gonna punch that kid. It's all fun and games till beat my bubble drums at you. True.
Altogether. In a study done by Edward Wright of the Max Planck Institute for Evolutionary Anthropology in Germany, it was found that the biggest, most brolic mountain gorillas actually produce the sounds with the lowest frequency. Something about larger air sacs near the larynx, but it's considered an honest signal of competitive ability, and between two prime apes, the one with the higher frequency flesh tap might just tap out of a fight before it happens. So the chest beating actually allows smaller gorillas to avoid a fight they'd almost certainly lose, and lets gorillas choose the best option, since bigger males tend to be the first choice for intercourse. That's gonna be painfully ironic in a minute, but we'll get to that bridge. The other thing that apparently terrified early explorers into
So female gorillas pick their mate based on who has the deepest sound when beating on their chest, I guess. That's what it sounds like when they beat their chest. No fucking way. King Kong. True.
to introverts was their jaw work. Gorillas have top 5 most inappropriate dental work for their profession, right up there with camels and the gelada monkey. It's almost divine intervention that a lawnmower with limbs has a stronger bite force than lions, hyenas, and even a grizzly bear. And if you watch gorilla ASMR, you can literally see the muscles attached to the sagittal crest. That
gorilla ASMR. I mean, yeah, whose bubble wrap be higher, exactly. Gorilla ASMR. I guess time to check that out, huh?
crest is why the gorilla has a built-in mohawk. Lucky for literally everybody, gorillas only use those vice grip jaws to crush about 40 pounds of food a day. And you'll never be more grateful for their grocery list until you watch one peel a tree like a banana. All that food would mean nothing if they didn't also have a host of gut bacteria to help break it all down. But because all that bacterial work also produces gas, gorillas are almost in a perpetual state of flatulence. A troop of IBS apes break more wind than a bloated.
So they always sound like they always feel like they're gonna explode. Always bloated. I guess so. Huh, interesting.
Beached whale, and it's so constant that research
Yeah, I've watched a lot of those videos back in the day of like whales exploding. Yeah, they're gross. They're gross.
Researchers occasionally track traveling families through their southbound symphony. Scientists even used a gorilla-coded camera to gain insight into the secret society of this steroid simian. And what they found was that a well-fed family could blow a hole through the ozone layer. And out both ends. According to late gorilla expert Diane Fossey, gorillas burp as an act of goodwill and contentment. And you know, in some cultures, letting it out the attic is considered a compliment, but they might as well have gotten it from a knuckle-walking cow ape. On a less audibly offensive note, gorillas have also been recorded singing while they eat.
So they are in a constant change of... They're in the constant change of shitting. That is crazy. That is... Yeah. Gorillas are always constipated, pretty much, yeah. How many times did whales explode for there to be a compilation of that? Too many.
Researchers refer to it as a chorus of appreciation. It's pretty cool, check it out. Basically living in their version of a giant
Singing monkeys. These monkeys sing. Okay.
gingerbread house has gorilla gangs singing out both ends. It's also a fact that they sing louder when eating their favorite foods like this banana tree stalk. And the funniest thing is, in the wild, the lead singer is actually the silverback. Science says he uses singing, or well, more like humming, to tell the group when it's time to stop and eat. And you know the law, when silverback speaks, everyone listens, and when he sings, it's time for fixings. But I'm not hungry. Okay, jeez. It makes sense.
I mean, there's still people out there who think that they could throw hands with a gorilla. What the hell? Didn't know gorillas were chill like that. They fart, sing, roam, do ASMR. I don't think they do ASMR on purpose there. That is recorded. Frieza loves fighting monkeys. Yeah, if Frieza ended this, he'd have a field day. Hello, monkeys!
Few things are more dominant than the lead silverback male. You know he's the one calling all the shots and making all the decisions for a troop of up to and sometimes over 30. One could say that is the peak male form. And you're
the peak male form, just like the dad bod that isn't a dad bod, but actually not an off-season bodybuilder.
Remember that painfully ironic thing I promised? Well, it's about that time, but before you judge me, I'm just gonna remind you that this is strictly educational. But I would feel weird if I didn't say this, so if you're a child, an adult with a child, or an adult who thinks they're a child, skip to this timestamp right here. Or don't, I can't stop you, but don't let your parents blame me if you don't. Here's an ad while you consider the cost of curiosity. So
dad bods are peak male form. when the women saying they're like dad bods would know what a dad bod is. And not, like I said, an off-season bodybuilder or somebody who has lived it for 6 years, but has a little bit more body fat on. He's their top G. Andrew Ape. Andrew Ape. We got him.
So, fun fact about a silverback, they're the largest apes in the world, can weigh in the neighborhood of 500 pounds, and when their private stand at attention, they're about 3/4 short of 2 inches. They don't just have the smallest waist snake of any ape, it's...
But the thing is also, they kind of always look homeless. Is that just me? They look like somebody who would, like, you would find, like, in the corner of some street, laying around. Oh no. Gorilla got that cake. We're looking at monkey ass here. Great.
It's widely believed gorillas have the smallest member of any mammal relative to body size.
King Kong ain't got on me!
I promise you he doesn't. In fact, if we scale for size, you have a better chance at Subway of seeing a foot long than from a Giga Kong. I swear I'm not just using this for Richard jokes.
Wait. So, gorillas are short kings? In that sense? I get it, I guess, I get it.
There's actually a reason gorillas ended up hung like a hamster. When you look at how all the great apes measure up, you'll 1. End up on a list, incognito can't save you, but 2. You'll realize humans have more appendical advantages than just a long thumb.
Hey, how's it going?
Chimps, bonobos, and orangutans are
Uh, um, interesting. Interesting.
Roughly about the same, but nature seemed to maliciously undercut gorillas in particular. Believe it or
Oh God! Such a massive monkey for such a small wiener. Poker feels better about himself. Real. It's not like that monk. Even if it's that small, that monkey still gets more action than me. Even the birds I own get more action.
not, it's a direct reflection of how they live. Chimpanzees live in polyandrous packs, where females can mate with multiple males, so there was evolutionary pressure for them to develop heavy huevos, since the more baby batter one can produce, the better chances one of his little swimmers wins the race to reality, which led to chimps having a massive man purse. I feel dirty. With humans, it's believed that earlier variants may have selected for the more groinally gifted, especially with humans being more bipedal. It'd probably be more of a factor. Eventually, that led to humans having more to flex under the waistband than just 9mm. But with
That fish looked like a cock.
gorillas, it's different. They often live in harems where all the females in a group practice their multiplication tables with the one silverback, which means they didn't have the selective pressure of dealing with other males like chimps, or even the pressure of females having a choice like humans. Also, another theory is that a larger Nixon might have helped shovel out rival nectar, again, something a back of silver doesn't have to worry about. It actually ties back to the chest beating. Being an absolute unit was already so much of a flex that evolution didn't have to juice their stats in other ways. But unfortunately, it means gorillas are built like an anti-steroid ad. But also consider this, silverbacks are the embodiment of what podcast bros call an alpha male. If humans were truly meant to take cues from them, forget Snickers, we'd be packing a Skittle.
Why are these guys so goofy? Remember, if you have a small peepee, you can't say your peepee is gorilla size, and some people will be fooled. True, true.
And with that, I am going to power wash my search history.
Yeah, just imagine somebody leaks your internet history, and what do they see? Multiple websites of you searching for the size of monkey peepee. Yep, yep. That's gonna that's gonna be fun.
Also, silverbacks aren't the aggressive jocks that movies made them out to be. Turns out, they're a lot more involved in raising children than we thought. Research actually shows that if a gorilla were to lose its mother, as long as it still isn't living off her milk, they'd still have an equal shot at surviving. It's cause silverbacks don't give child support, they are the child support. It's even been proven that gorillas are more attracted to the sensitive, child-nurturing males, and not really the aggressive bully types, which is probably—
They're actually dads! They're papas! I can see it. Gentle giants. Gorillas are not cucks. They need to be in a relationship to be a cuck. Technically, the females are, right? Technically. But you think of the oddest things. Of course. I am one of the oddest things.
why they put up with so much disrespect, and why the father instinct might not just apply to gorillas. You might remember in 1986, a child fell into a gorilla enclosure, crazy how often that happens, and 400-pound Yumbo—
No Harambe! No Harambe! You will be avenged, Harambe. You will be avenged.
went over and tried to comfort the unconscious boy. Even when the boy came to and understandably panicked, instead of wilding out at the sudden disturbance, Yumbo calmly guided the other gorillas to a corner of the enclosure while first responders rescued the boy. Ironically, this was during a time the majority thought gorillas were bloodthirsty savages patrolling the underbrush of Africa. That literally could not have been further from the truth. In fact, it led to one of the most infuriating arguments I keep letting myself get baited into. Anytime someone brings up gorilla versus grizzly, all I can think is, you don't know gorillas, and you really don't know grizzlies. Forget bears, there's cases of leopards causing problems for a plus-size primate, with records finding past tense gorillas with puncture wounds around the head and neck. Now, leopard attacks on a full-grown male are rare. But if a 150-pound big cat is a genuine threat, a 10-foot, 900-pound revenant plot device would slaughter a roid monkey. And really, the more you think about it, the more disrespectful the question is. Y'all stay playing on a grizzly's body.
There's also people out there who think they can take a bear. There's also people out there who think they could live with a bear in the forest. Penguin that stay with the eggs for like half a year straight while women travel away to eat. Oh. Well, that's a problem. I think it's gonna be gay from what I remember. I think so too. But they steal the egg, by the way. So, interesting.
Especially since the gorilla himself wouldn't even want that smoke. For all that bulk, they'd definitely rather run away than run a fade. Imagine thinking they can match up with a grizzly when gorillas can get humbled by a change in weather. And I just love that gorillas in captivity and in the wild have no problems playing in the water, but when it falls out the sky, it's suddenly unacceptable. Also, I don't know if you've seen that corgi that gave its owner a heart attack until she realized the only
Pranks that went too far. Pranks that went too far.
The only victim was a jar of jam. Turns out gorillas might have done the same to early explorers. One could only imagine seeing the blood-soaked fangs of this behemoth up close, only to realize gorilla grills come from the tannins in their diet, and for reference, tannins are the same ingredient.
Hand over the toothbrush. You stinky monkey. Even your tongue looks stinky.
That makes coffee bitter. And I think that's just gorillas in a nutshell. They look like they could do an absolute number on the human population, but I could not find one verified case of a gorilla murking a person. Attempts may have been made, but if you watch this video, you know she basically begged for it. Plus, it's captivity. In the wild, you actively have to try to get gorilla gloves put on you. They genuinely give you every possible warning before they do. And even if you ignore the chest beat, the flashing teeth, and all the other signs a gorilla might give you, usually the most they'll ever do is bluff charge. Now, let me not be ridiculous. A gorilla could absolutely turn you into a human jigsaw puzzle. And for all I'm talking, a bluff charge from a gorilla would have my soul pump faking the higher power. But gorillas got stuck with the monster label, which means it distracted people from the fact that they're the most unserious animals on Earth. What do I mean?
These fuckers act like me and my brother. So, that makes sense. That makes sense. Why are they so goofy?
Well, you remember what I said about silverbacks being fathers? Well, this is Hauko. Hauko is a proud father of 4 who loves nothing more than to play with his children. Problem is, sometimes his mate isn't too eager to let him rock with such a small baby, so in all of Hauko's infinite wisdom, he came up with a solution. He f***ing kidnapped her. Repeatedly. And yes, he did this with all his children, proving it really is a game to him. I'm sorry, you can't, you're telling me I'm supposed to be afraid of this? This is...
I'm stealing that. I'm stealing that. I'm stealing the child. Hey, that looks like me and Krokorok, actually. That looks like me and Krok. This is how I did it with Krokorok. I just took him and ran away. That gorilla, though. You are not that one woman. Don't try to mate with the monkey.
This is chronically unserious. But not unsurprising, gorillas have a genuine sense of humor. Had Marion Cooper have known, King Kong might have had a different storyline. Like Exhibit B, watch enough gorilla videos and you'll notice they have an interesting habit of grenading. As in, they'll throw something and immediately run away like Skeletor. Now you could argue it's a territorial, non-verbal way to tell humans to F off, but that goes against my narrative, so I'm gonna disregard it. Also, they've done it so many times exactly like this, it's like, how am I not supposed to see this as a prank? And
Fuck. What the fuck? They are so chill. They literally just throw random shit at random bullshit. Go. They really just throw random shit at you. I wonder if they throw their own poop at you as well. Who knows? They're goofy and are good fathers. Apparently so. Yeah.
if you need more proof, Coco, the sign language speaking gorilla, once tied her caretaker's shoelaces together and then signed the word chase. Now I know there's been a dispute as to whether Coco actually learned sign language or was just a master mimic that learned sign language the same way dogs learn words like sit. There's a much more nuanced conversation to be had on whether Coco was a genuine case of comprehension or just memorization and regurgitation. But that's not why I'm mentioning her here. It's because she was involved in one of the most absurd lawsuits I've ever read. In 2005, 3 female—
Wait, is that the case where they taught the gorilla that the gorilla's gonna die, or was that fake? Huh.
former staff members filed a lawsuit against the Gorilla Foundation, because allegedly Coco was demanding that the workers flash her, and no, I do not mean with lights. According to Nancy Alperin and Kendrick Keller, program director Francine Patterson told them that Coco had an obsession of the mammary variety, and pressured them to expose their upper halves to the gorilla, even implying that their jobs would be in danger if they refused. They refused. And some of the quotes that would come out of this suit are almost too ridiculous to be real. And apparently Coco did not
Huh? With gorillas? Huh? Huh? Well, that's a deserved lawsuit? Ah, we got them of the zoo variety as well.
discriminate, with one man recounting a time Coco went up to him and demanded to see his human headlights, at a party no less. He didn't even say no.
She wanted to see human nipples? Huh?
He said later, and according to him, Patterson put an arm around him and basically hit him with the, "Do you really want to say no to her?" There were other complaints like unpaid overtime, dangerous work environment, them apparently storing gorilla urine in the same fridge they ate out of, but none as outrageous as a 350-pound bosom bandit, especially when you find out Patterson
She was like, I want to see your moobs. Show me your moobs. Hi, Ender Steve. How are you doing? Everything good? Show me those human moobs.
Patterson would switch up majorly when big-time donors came around. What do I mean? Well, apparently whenever Coco would make one of her requests in front of a possible benefactor, Patterson would just say, "Oh, you know, nipple sounds like people." So what she's really saying is she wants to see more people. Yeah, they should have read the verdict right there, because who even lies like that? I don't think that's how sign language works. The case was settled out, of course, so I guess we'll never know, but to be fair, how would multiple
These fuckers are so goofy. These fuckers are so goofy. They pinch each other's nipples. These fuckers are so goofy.
people lie about something like that? It means gorillas are the only animals to be formally accused of harassment of the sensually explicit kind. But it also proves that gorillas are just like us. They can multitask and focus on two things at once. I mean, they only share 98% of our DNA, and for the loud minority that's gonna somehow take offense, or, you know, make it racist, because, you know, I read the comments. I challenge you to spend
The comments must be diabolical. There were so many chances of racist jokes. That's gonna be diabolical.
a day watching a gorilla and tell me it's not an impulsive human in a fur suit. Like, I bet half y'all didn't even realize that's a gorilla walking in the background. Yeah, this was a pretty unserious video for a remarkable.
Is that little gorilla twerking? Huh? You are a minor.
Unserious creature, but the point wasn't really to Disneyfy a wild animal. That's arguably as bad as turning them into monsters. But there is so much more to gorillas than a fade with Godzilla or the US Army, and I kinda wanted to show that. Especially when you realize gorillas have been getting slaughtered for as long as we've known about them, for bushmeat, for trophies, pets, and sometimes just for the sport, so us calling them dangerous is kinda wild. But I get it, talk is cheap when it's in front of a green screen. So if this video gets 200,000 likes, I will meet a gorilla in person. Somewhere. Or an orangutan, and that works too. But until then, drink water, hug your mother, never smile at a gorilla. Fun fact, clearing your throat sends a much better message. And I'ma see y'all in the next one.
That was awesome.
Oh, that's a good shot. She's looking like dead at it.
Like really oblivious. Yeah, she did not care. That was awesome. Gorillas are awesome.